Hello again everyone and welcome to the Freezy Peak Strategy Guide. I stream Fall Guys on Twitch pretty much every day. If you want to pop by and say hello, I'd love to see you. The starting position for Freezy Peak is helpful. There's a wide variety of spawn locations you can spawn in, and you can get matched against a couple of different obstacles, some which are faster than others, and you can also get good and bad spawns as well regarding those obstacles. So it's quite a degree of spawning locations, and I think getting the correct one is very helpful. So I'd say the randomness of the level is low, not much changes apart from the initial spawn, and technicality is medium. There's a large variety of parkour skills needed to do this level and to do it well. So moving on to the strategy section, we're going to start with the starting variants. There's two types of opening spawns you can get in Freezy Peak, as well as the possibility for good and bad spawns within those obstacles as well. First spawn is the sideways fists, and the second spawn is the upwards fists. We're going to talk about the sideways fists first. So if you get the opening spawn for the sideways fists, you can tell which of the two fists, either left or right, is going to spring first by which is closer to the spawning point. So on the left, we know this one will hit first because there's no gap between the fist and the wall. Whereas on the right, that fist will punch second because it has a pretty decent gap between the fist and the actual wall. Okay? The best way to deal with this obstacle is to run roughly down the middle, but just outside the range of the first fist that will punch, and you should be able to get past the second fist without any trouble. So you can get a good and a bad spawn when you're going against this obstacle. Ideally, you want to be spawning on the far side of the first punching fist. So you're basically away from the first punching fist. That means you can make a nice easy line forward without having to do much maneuvering around that first fist. A bad spawn will have you spawning on the same side as the first punching fist. Due to the icy floor, you can't easily get out of range of the fist and then go back in to avoid the second punching fist. If you do get a bad spawn, so you're spawning on the same side as the first punching fist, it's best to just wait for the first punching fist to retract before you try and run. A little warning here is that the conveyor belt after the sideways fists currently has a little bit of a glitch on it. The moment when you jump onto the conveyor belt, you seem to get pushed back quite a bit of a way. It's as if there's a fan that's pushing you back, but there isn't. There's not much you can do here. It seems to only occur if you're quite quick off the mark, as the timing seems to go off when you're a bit slower. Alternatively, if you have a bad sideways fist spawn, you could wait for the fist to retract, but you could also make a choice to head for the upwards fist area, providing it's right next door. The upwards fist spawn is the fastest route, providing you do it correctly. So the upwards fists, they punch in a zigzag pattern. To deal with this obstacle, ideally, you want to run over them as they retract in the same zigzag pattern. If you do this optimally, you won't get knocked over or punched at all. I think it's easier to show you with some gameplay, so I'll do that now. So I can go left or middle. I'm going to go middle because it's faster. Left was bad for me. Here, you just want to run on them and sort of diagonal across. After you manage to pass the upwards fists, you'll go into the sideways fans. All you have to do is run close to these as you run past, and it'll blow you, but it won't blow you into the springboard before you pass it, so you shouldn't really have a problem here. So the next obstacle is the snowball double fans. You should be using the rightish side of the fans to try and avoid the snowball, which tends to roll on the left hand side. If you get hit by the snowball, you generally get knocked off. You should be able to just hold forward on these two fans and make it safely across, but there is one exception that seems to happen sometimes. If you get a really high height on the first fan, then you'll sink quite low on the second one, and if you're just holding forward, you'll preemptively go out of the fan before you actually got the height needed. So if you get a really high height on the first one, you have to let go of forward when you're on the second one for a little bit, so you can get the height required before you leave. So the next obstacle is the spiral strategies. The best strategy to climb over the spiral is to combine the timings of the fist retracting with jumping over the springboards. You don't really ever want to be on the outside with the snowball as it's quite slow. So if the fist is retracting, you can just run past it. If it's not retracting and you're going to have to wait, you should jump and dive over the springboard. You want to keep jumping and diving over the springboards unless the fist that's ahead of you is about to retract, and then you can just run past. So you want to combine these two things together, run past when you can, otherwise jump and dive over the springboards. What's really cool is that fists number 2 and 3 and 6 and 7, they sync up so they retract after each other. And it allows you to just run past both really easily if you run past the first one. So you can save a lot of time by just running past both of these very quickly. So allow me to just put forward a cautionary tale here with the spiral strategies. If it's crowded and there's loads of players around you, I'd recommend taking caution when jumping over the springboards, as they will often trigger them and cause you to fly off as well, even if you didn't actually touch it. Depending on the urgency, it's safer to just wait for the fists. If you're about to lose, then you want to do the jumping over the springboards. But if not, it's safer to just wait, because if you fly off, it's a massive disadvantage and it's not worth it. So if it's crowded, probably just better to wait, I think, unless you're about to lose. So the next obstacle is the circular conveyor belts. You want to run up the ramp until you reach the blue snowy floor. That's a great indicator of when you can jump up to the conveyor belt. One thing is to not hug the inside wall when you're running up the ramp, as there's a tiny lip with the conveyor belts that will stop you jumping up. So you want to give yourself a little bit of width so you can jump up there nice and easily. And the final obstacle is the final fan. As you jump onto the final fan, make a 90-degree right turn and then head for the goal. So moving on to the tips and tricks section now. The first tip is the springboard randomness. All the springboards prior to the spiral climb actually trigger in a random direction every time you jump on them. So although it's never recommended, you could get a forward spring boost that would make you go really far forward. I actually managed to do that on one of my early plays and it put me in the lead, which was really useful. Just bear that in mind, that the springs at the beginning are all sort of random directions. The second tip is the floaty dive. When you're floating in a fan, using a dive will cancel the float and send you forward and down like a normal dive would. You want to use this to prevent an overly high and floaty jump, which will waste a lot of time, and it will also allow you to exit the fan stream very quickly. So the third tip is snowballs clogged. On the double fan section in the middle of the map, if snowballs have clogged the fans and they're just sort of sitting there and everyone's waiting, you can jump down and dive safely onto the rims of the fans, run around, and then jump back up to get ahead. You want to use this to get ahead of other players if they're just waiting on the snowballs to move out of the way. So that is it for the strategy guide for Freezy Peak. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself, everybody, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye. Tips for Freezy Peak. That is the next strategy guide I am doing. So I can go left or middle. I'm going to go middle because it's faster. Left was bad for me. Here you just want to run on them and sort of diagonal across. And then you want to sort of just run up here.
Train incoming.
She got bored at the end there. Okay, this hurts, so I have to wait here a little bit, unfortunately. Because I had such a high jump on the first one, the second one meant that it wasn't going to work very well. Well, this is good timing. Alright, I'm just going to wait. There we go. Nice. And then we can go this. Just go up there. And then what you do is you go like this. Oh my god, I made it again! So good! Oh, I know that it's not like a perfect full circle, but you know, it's at least worthy.
Did you hear the sound my helicopter makes? Oh wait, I don't have a helicopter.
Oh, what?
Yay.
Okay, so this is a good one for me because the left side is going to bash first because it's closer. We want to do that. Now, again, we might have the same issue with the fans. Maybe if we go down the middle, it won't be such an issue. You want to go on the right here so the snowball doesn't clip you. That's good. That's real good. Alright. We can run over that. Oh, I think we can run both of these. Nice! Should we do a circle? Yeah, I hope everyone's having a bad time down there. Come on, fall over. Come on! Oh no, I was so close! So close to getting first after doing a ring. Right, so the left one's going to hit first because it's further forward, so we can just sort of go here and be fine. Nice. Oh yeah, that was nice. Was that, okay. Now, one thing that's worth noting is these spring at random directions. So I think I got lucky there. I wouldn't recommend trying it. Oh, I didn't get lucky there though. Right, snowballs. Right. Alright. Punch, kick, it's all in the mind. Alright, that'll do. Gotta make sure that I get ahead of people because I don't want to be behind them. Okay, we on the left or right side? We're on the right side, so it's going to go right, left. Right, okay. There we go. We need to go, we have to go left here. Okay, so when this happens, you can just run around the outside. Like this. Alright. There's a little strat for you. When the snowballs clog it up, just run around the outside. You don't have to fly up until the very end. Alright, that's good timing. We've got to wait, and then I think it's good. No, we've got to wait again. Then it's good timing. Okay, great. Then probably about here. Let's do that. Nice. Way 360. Nice. So I'm actually going to go this way because I was not in the right place for that. Don't jump or you'll fall over. Okay, that's good. Right, I'm going to jump and dive through that. I just dive anyway, don't jump even. Okay, that's good. Nice and fast. I do believe those up... Oh, God. Those up things are the fastest. Alright, we can get up there. Right, we're at the front, so maybe, if we're lucky, we can do these strategies. We do that, good. That's really hard to do when there's a crowd there. Nice. That may be like some sort of world record. Probably could snip it down a bit, but that was really good. That was like probably the fastest I've ever done it, I think. We had the up boxing gloves and we went through it cleanly. That's the fastest. You can tell because you get up to the top quick. Yeah.